Greetings, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. Most people agree that at any point in time there is only one man that a given woman is permitted to unite herself with physically without the act of doing so being a violation of our Creator's commands. But few people understand why our Creator imposed such a restriction on the women of Israel, and by extension on every woman who wishes to live in obedience to our Creator's commands. So let me explain why he did so. The womb of a woman is a bit like a field. A field does not determine the identity of the plant that grows on it. That is determined by the seed which was planted there. The plant that is growing in a field is maize only because the seed which was planted there came from a plant that we call maize. In the same way, the nationality of the baby that is growing in a woman's womb is the same as that of the man whose seed was planted there and gave rise to that baby. According to our Creator, a child is an Israelite only if the man whose seed gave rise to that child was also an Israelite. The woman plays no role in giving to its offspring its national identity. That is why our Creator permitted the men of Israel to unite themselves with women who they captured in their wars with other nations, but directed that all the males be killed. The children who those women gave birth to were all going to be Israelites. Permitting a woman of Israel to unite herself with more than one man would create uncertainty as to the nationality of her offspring as well as the tribe of Israel to which it belongs. That is a problem because our Creator, for example, specified that only descendants of Aaron could serve before him as priests. How could anyone be certain that a child was a descendant of Aaron if its mother was permitted to unite herself with more than one man? Similarly, only a child that is born to a given Israelite man could inherit a portion of the land which fell by lot to the tribe of Israel to which that man belonged. Clearly, our Creator, the instructions which our Creator gave to the Israelites required that there be as much certainty as possible about the paternity of every child in Israel. Restricting a woman on pain of death to uniting herself with only her husband and putting to death any man who unites himself with a woman who already has a husband, was for the purpose of making sure that was the case. And that is the reason why the offense of adultery was deemed to have been committed in Israel only if a woman who already had a husband united herself with a man who was not her husband. The marital status of the man involved did not matter at all. But there is nothing which our Creator has identified as a problem which Christian monogamy is the solution to. Christian monogamy is the way of life which is practiced by people who believe that our Creator restricted every man to only one woman in the same way that he did every woman to only one man. There is no evidence in the writings of the ancient Israelites that he did so, and plenty of evidence that he never did so. Some of that evidence is presented in the video which I have linked in the description box below this video. Christian monogamy does not just not solve any problem. It creates new problems by driving women and children into situations which our Creator clearly does not want them to be in. Anybody who has truly read the Bible knows that our Creator has very special concern for the welfare of orphans and widows. Multiple times he instructs the Israelites to take care of orphans and widows and to ensure justice for them. Those instructions are necessary because of the fact that being an orphan or a widow in the society comes with certain vulnerabilities. The vulnerabilities of orphans in particular are linked to the role that a father plays in the lives of his children, because the Bible only ever refers to orphans as the fatherless, never as the motherless. The manner in which the Israelites dealt with their female captives of war led inevitably to there being more women in Israel than men. Because of that, the only way that every woman of Israel who wanted a husband could have one was if every man of Israel was permitted to unite himself with more than one woman if he wanted to. There simply is no other way. If a society like Israel was to practice monogamy, then every woman who wanted a husband but could not get one because there are not enough men to go around would be condemned to living out her days as the equivalent of a childless widow. And any man who wished to unite himself with such a woman would have to first divorce his own wife, effectively rendering her a widow. Judging from those outcomes vis-a-vis what our Creator says about orphans and widows, there is no doubt that he could never have prescribed Christian monogamy as a way of life for Israel. But even so, many people still believe that he did, and that's largely because of the very effective technique which proponents of Christian monogamy use to persuade individuals to practice it and to defend it. That is the same technique which our adversary has used and has been using ever since the time of Adam to pressure individuals to do his will. The technique itself is to get the people who that individual loves the most and least wants to hurt, or whose view or opinion of him or her that individual cares the most about, to project as their own feelings what the adversary is the one who actually feels as to the things that that person does or does not do. And so the next time that you are tempted or invited to argue in support of Christian monogamy, pause and reflect whether the feelings that motivate you to do so originate with you or are merely projected from another source. Remember that none of us will escape the penalty for the contribution that we make to bad things happening in this world because of the lies that we choose to believe. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and have a good day. Bye-bye.